Hello, I want to give an update on my Fdez Werx slide that had blew up on me. Um, so what happened was there was a crack along the barrel right here. I went through, and Fdez Werx sent me back the casing, and they had said it was possibly due to the primer not being striked properly. And you can see how it's really weird because it's indented weird in a way where it's showing signs of over pressurized case round, which is what caused the bulge on the end, right? Let's see if I can get this in focus. Which caused the bulging of the round and released the gases on the side, which caused the crack in the barrel, because the crack happened along here and then along the barrel. You can see how it also bulges and protrudes right here. It protrudes just right here, and that's also another sign of the potentially over pressurized casing. At least that's how Fdez Werx explained it to me, or sent it back in what they saw. I will say I was a little frustrated. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, this slide was expensive. It was $600, or a little under 700, and I wanted a new slide, obviously. So they were able to send it back and send me another slide, but it was not the model I had. It was a model below it because they discontinued it. So I had asked them if I can get the updated ACCS slide, and they said they generally don't do it, but they will do it. And they asked just to get shipped back the new slide I received due to the warranty and all that. But they could only give me 50% off. Well, me being me, I do like this slide a lot better due to some upgrades, which I'll go over. I said, yeah, I'll send it back and I'll purchase this slide. And so they gave me 50% off, and I paid this slide technically for $377 or so. And there's parts of this slide that I'll explain to you and kind of the gun and overall, right? So I'm gonna start from the tip to the rear, okay? So the barrel protrudes out just a bit, and I do like that look in terms of how it protrudes out. I do like that. As you can see, this is my this is the Icarus lower I purchased originally for the previous slide, but I didn't want to purchase a new one, so it's gonna protrude out in the front right here. I don't mind it. I do like the look of it. I haven't had to use it yet, but it does get sharp in the end. So in an event of a self-defense, I guess I could use it. I do have the light here, so that may impede the usage of these, but if I don't want it, I can always cut them so that it's flush with the front. Okay. The barrel itself. Okay. I do like this barrel. This barrel looks really nice. There are cuts into the barrel right here, and I'll take it apart and show you guys too. And there are cuts into it that make it lighter barrel, I guess, but also hopefully it doesn't impede with the integrity of the barrel itself. In the front right here, you can see these slots on the side, and that could be due to the gas is releasing the side. I mean, I'm assuming that's what it is for. So when the gas is released up from this trunk port right here, it would also release to the side and help with leveling your gun too, getting it back faster on recoil and all that. Reduce recoil and faster on target, right? Save the ports. Ports look nice, and there's these lightning cuts, or these cuts that make this lightweight cuts that they had cut to show the barrel for one. That looks really nice. But also the practical use of these smaller serrations on the edge, as you can see here, is used for releasing press checks or also just gripping onto the slide. I do like that. They do help. I do notice that I can grip it and not have to worry. And that's not, I'm not using a lot of force to squeeze my index and my thumb against it. I do like that aspect of these serrations. They also continued it in the rear, which I'll show you later. They had cut a part of the slide to show the barrel and Fdez Werx logo. And I think that's really nice. Again, it's to make the slide lighter, but also it just looks really nice. There's this void right here that they filled with cutting into, so that way there was something you can grab onto if you wanted to grab onto. It's almost similar to the serrations in the front and rear, but it's a way to fill in the void, and including on this side a way to fill in the void that they had of space. The serrations that are in the front are in the rear too, but just in these two aspects, these two, honestly, I do wish they kind of just continued it to, like, if they continued it, it wouldn't have been a, I mean, I guess you could just use your index fingers, but if you can continue it all the way, because realistically, with it being such a small surface area, having the full continuation of those serrations would have been nice, I guess. As you can see, I had placed my previous red dot, and it's all right. It looks all right. So one thing I will say is I don't like the spring. What I mean by that is it's a hassle to take off, but also change out the power of the string. Because of this end piece, it's very hard to take off. So I am probably gonna upgrade the spring, and I thought my other previous spring kit was gonna work, but no, it does not. So I'm gonna have to use the I'll have to purchase another spring kit so I can change out the spring power. I do like running a lighter recoil spring. Just for one, it's easier to manipulate, but also the other thing is because I run lighter ammo, cheaper 115 grain ammo, I'd rather have a lighter spring for that. The barrel, I should show you the barrel. The barrel looks nice. This is what the barrel looks like. There are cuts into the barrel to lighten the barrel, but also it still upholds its integrity, or it's supposed to. Cut in the top, edges on the side, looks really nice. But yes, barrels is really nice. Oh, right here, the indent. There's an indent for, because the previous one didn't really have one. I just want to share it. They had created an indent into the barrel so that the spring can hold against here. And I think I like it. Right? I think I like it. Right here. So now when I put the spring in, it just goes into that groove. Right there. Right? Was there anything that I missed? No, it's pretty much everything. We'll see if this gives me light primer strikes. Might be because I'm running 115, but I'll also run 124 grain once I go to range to really make sure that it's still shooting. I generally run 115 because it's cheaper, but also it tells me how reliable the gun is. I know it's ported, yes, but if a compensator or a ported gun can run 115, it tells you how reliable it is still with cheaper ammo on the low end. So I just wanted to mention that, but also like say that. So one thing I will say, I wanted to show you this. The FCU in my 365 is not tight with the lower of this Precision lower. and you can see the FCU moves the slide. It moves the slide. You can see the slide's moving. You can hear it moving. That's very annoying, for one. It's not tight fault tolerance, which causes wear and tear of the lower frame, as you can see right there, and edges of the connecting the upper and FCU together, which will eventually wear and tear this section of the slide. I just wanted to mention that because that's what happens with my FCU. You can hear it again. This is the FCU shaking, and it's just not a tight fit with this synchronous precision lower, or just not a tight fit. I don't know why. I thought it would have been, but unfortunately it isn't, which can cause me to be very annoyed when the slide moves. Can't really see it. For one, this is a newer slide, but it is moving very slightly. I can feel it by touching it, touching the slide and the lower FCU slide release. I can feel it moving. I just wanted to share that. So there's one thing that I did notice though, is once I put this slide on, because it's still new and after wear and tear, it probably will go back to how it was. The trigger, right? The trigger did get more sharper, is how I explain it. How can I describe it? Is sharper. And I do like that. It's not as mushy, because generally the FCUs of the G65s, they're pretty mushy, like the mushiness. But this slide really made, for some reason, I don't know why. Again, I don't know why. Might just because it's new. It might need some break-in, but it's more sharp on firing. I don't know why. I just wanted to share that. I'm really annoyed. Like, you can hear it, but also you can see it just moves. So there's that for the 365 FCU. Again, like I mentioned earlier, the same lower and red dot has been added to this Fdez Werx slide. I'm just gonna have to run it with the sharp tips. I like the HLX. Sometimes it does come off, so I had to put those screws in to keep it tight in. That's the only critique I had. I've had this come off a couple times, which I'm really annoyed of. So hopefully it can withstand this one. And my red dot is the Hallsun ACCS Carry Green for the green dot. I do like it, but one thing I was irritated on is that the screws that go into it has caused my tools to scratch the edges right here. So when I screw this in, it scratches the edges. So now those do irritate me. And somehow I got a little nick into the screen. It's really hard to see. I don't know if I can like focus on it. But part of the screen I nicked right there. Grab my tool. I nicked it right there. And that's very annoying because it's still within my line of sight. So every so often I do have it in my line of sight. I just want to show you some content. I will show you with 17 rounds. And generally I carry with a 12 round so I can have better concealment and less imprinting, but this does imprint still. I just want to advise on that. But yeah, I do my 17 round as backup that I carry in my pocket or somewhere else. But generally I run it with a 12 round. So I have less print, and this is the only thing that prints, the magwell. I will just have more content of showing what this slide looks like, because there's not a lot of content out there about this slide. But if you want to think about purchasing it, just take those considerations of what I talked about with those upgrades that they have made into the cut of the slide. But in terms of shooting it, I will give you an update when I go out to the range in a couple of days here. But yes, this is what it looks like. I do like the look of the slide itself, and I think there are practical aspects of this slide. We'll see how much it helps with the recoil with this trunk port and the 3 mini ports. As you can see too, the ports are not all the same. It gets small, it increases in size, and it's to help disperse the gas in a way where it obviously is little, medium, larger, and gives you that proper, or I don't even know if you say it's proper, but it gives you an aspect of releasing the gases in a way where it's not all one thing for the trunk port, so it can level itself out. And again, just more content of the trigger pull. Nice. It just does fit in my QVO tactical holster for my concealed carry. There's that too.